Rain hammers the cemetery. A single figure stands at attention beside a flag-draped coffin. No family. No mourners. Just one man in the downpour, honoring a soldier the world forgot. John Wayne watches from his limousine, hand frozen on the door handle. What he does in the next 60 seconds changes everything he thought he knew about duty. John Wayne is American royalty, box office king, war hero on screen, the Duke himself. He's carved a career playing soldiers, patriots, men who never bend. But it's all Hollywood. Staged battles. Fake blood. Controlled heroics. Today he's being driven through Los Angeles after a studio meeting. Rain sheets across the windshield. The car slows passing a military cemetery. Wayne glances out from habit, he always acknowledges the flag. But this time, something stops him cold. One mourner. One soldier's grave. A scene so raw, so stripped of pretense, it tears through 40 years of carefully constructed image. The limousine idles at the cemetery gates. Wayne's driver asks if everything's all right. The Duke doesn't answer. His eyes lock onto the figure standing rigidly beside the grave, a young man, maybe early 20s, military dress uniform soaked through. The rain is relentless. Biblical. The kind that drives everyone indoors. But this kid isn't moving. Wayne had been reviewing scripts that morning. Another Western. Another war picture. Stories about sacrifice and brotherhood, written by people who'd never held a rifle outside a prop department. He'd grown comfortable in that world. The world where heroism had marks on the ground, where directors yelled, "Cut," before anything real could touch you. This cemetery held no cameras. The soldier at the grave stands with textbook precision, shoulders back, chin level, eyes forward. His white gloves grip the folded flag that had covered the coffin. Water streams down his face. Whether it's rain or tears, Wayne can't tell from this distance. But something about the posture, the absolute commitment to being there, reaches across the space between limousine leather and mud-soaked grass. Who is he burying? Wayne asks. The driver doesn't know. Want me to keep going, Mr. Wayne? The Duke has a dinner meeting in 40 minutes. An interview with Life magazine after that. His schedule is choreographed down to the minute, every public appearance calculated. John Wayne doesn't do spontaneous. John Wayne doesn't show up unannounced at funerals. John Wayne doesn't get out of cars in the rain for strangers. Pull over, he says. The driver hesitates. Sir, you'll be soaked. And we're all ready. Pull over. The limousine eases to the curb. Wayne sits there a moment longer, hand on the door, watching through rain-streaked glass. The young soldier hasn't moved. Hasn't looked around. Hasn't acknowledged the world beyond that grave. Complete devotion to a single purpose. Wayne had played that scene 100 times. Sands of Iwo Jima. The Longest Day. The Green Berets. He delivered eulogies on screen, stood at fictional graves, saluted fallen heroes who'd get up after the director called cut and grab lunch at the commissary. This was different. This was real. And something in that reality, the purity of it, the total absence of performance, cut straight to the core of every doubt Wayne had carried for decades. Doubt he'd never voiced publicly. Doubt that lived in the space between the man he played and the man he was. John Wayne never served. Not in World War II. Not in Korea. Not anywhere that mattered when young men were dying. He'd been 34 when Pearl Harbor happened, prime age, perfect health. He'd applied for deferments. Kept making movies. Kept playing the hero while real heroes shipped out. The studio had wanted him stateside. His career was exploding. And Wayne, ambitious, hungry, not yet the legend, had stayed. He told himself it was the right choice. That he served by keeping morale up, by giving America an image to believe in. That celluloid heroism mattered. But late at night, in the quiet between premieres and photo shoots, the doubt whispered. Now, watching this young soldier stand alone in the rain for someone nobody else came to honor, that whisper became a roar. Wayne opens the door. Rain hits him like a wall. Within seconds his suit is drenched, his hair plastered to his forehead. He doesn't care. He walks through the cemetery gates, shoes sinking into soft earth, approaching the lone mourner with slow, deliberate steps. The young soldier doesn't turn. Doesn't break his vigil. Wayne stops a respectful distance away. Close enough now to read the headstone. The name on the grave means nothing to Wayne. A specialist. Died in Vietnam 3 weeks prior. Age 19. 19 years old. Wayne had been making movies at 19. Chasing stardom. Worried about camera angles and billing position. This kid in the ground had been carrying a rifle through jungles, watching friends die, doing a job that shattered men twice his age. And nobody came to bury him except this one soldier. Wayne stands silently, rain pounding both of them. He wants to say something, anything, but every word feels inadequate. What do you say to real sacrifice when you've only played it on screen? The young soldier finally speaks, eyes still forward. You don't have to be here, sir. His voice is flat. Exhausted. Like he's been standing there for hours. Maybe he has. I know, Wayne says. You'll ruin that suit. I know. Silence. Just rain and distant traffic and the weight of absence where a funeral crowd should be. Wayne asks the question burning in his chest. You his brother? No, sir. Family? No, sir. Then why are you here? The soldier's jaw tightens. For the first time, his parade ground composure cracks, just slightly, just enough to show the human underneath. Because somebody has to be. 4 words. Simple. Devastating. Wayne feels something shift inside him. A tectonic movement in the foundation of who he thought he was. The soldier continues, voice rough now. Eddie, Specialist Chen, he saved my life. Mekong Delta, 6 months ago. Took rounds meant for me. Got medevaced out, Purple Heart, sent home. The soldier swallows hard. Infection got him 2 weeks after he landed stateside. No parade. No ceremony. Just, gone. He finally turns to look at Wayne, and the Duke sees red-rimmed eyes in a young face that's aged beyond its years. His parents died when he was a kid. Foster system. No siblings. His file said he had nobody to notify. The soldier's voice breaks. The army was gonna do a standard burial. Chaplain, 2 privates for flag duty, done in 15 minutes. I couldn't let that be how Eddie left. Wayne understands then. This isn't just about respect. It's about debt. About the impossible weight of being alive because someone else isn't. It's about something Wayne has never truly carried. How long you been standing here? Wayne asks quietly. Since 0600. Ceremony was 2 hours ago. 6 hours. This kid has been standing at attention in the rain for 6 hours. You plan on staying longer? Until I'm sure he knows he wasn't alone. The soldier looks back at the grave. He spent his whole life alone. He's not going into the ground that way. Not if I can help it. Wayne has no response to that. No script. No John Ford to whisper the perfect line. He's just a man in an expensive ruined suit standing next to a soldier who understands something Wayne has built a career pretending to understand. Authentic sacrifice. Real duty. The kind that doesn't care about audiences or acclaim. Minutes pass. The rain doesn't let up. Wayne's feet are numb. His back aches. He thinks about the dinner meeting he's missing, the interview being rescheduled, the studio executives who'll want explanations. None of it matters. For the first time in decades, John Wayne isn't performing. He's just present. Bearing witness. Standing for something real instead of rehearsed. The young soldier breaks the silence again. My CO told me you made a movie, The Green Berets. Said you tried to get it right. Show what we do over there. Wayne nods. That film had been controversial. Critics hated it. Called it propaganda. But soldiers wrote him letters. Said it mattered that someone tried. Did you serve, Mr. Wayne? The soldier asks. No judgment in the question. Just curiosity. Here it is. The moment Wayne has dodged for 30 years. The truth he's buried under layers of cinematic heroism and carefully constructed mythology. He could lie. This kid wouldn't know. Nobody's here to fact-check. But standing at this grave, in front of the soldier who stayed 6 hours in the rain for a fallen brother, Wayne can't do it. Won't do it. No, he says simply. I didn't. The soldier nods slowly. Doesn't respond. Just lets that truth sit between them. Wayne expects judgment. Disappointment. The thing he's feared every time someone called him a hero for playing dress-up. Instead, the soldier says, but you're here now. 3 words. Quiet. Without agenda. But you're here now. Not an absolution. Not forgiveness for decades of absence from real battlefields. Just an acknowledgement of this moment. This choice. This rain-soaked cemetery where Hollywood's biggest star is standing beside a grave for someone he never knew. Wayne feels his throat tighten. He'd spent 40 years playing heroes. Maybe, in this moment, he was finally trying to be one. Not for cameras. Not for box office. Just for a 19-year-old kid named Eddie Chen who saved a friend's life and died alone. What was he like? Wayne asks. Eddie. The soldier almost smiles. Terrible at poker. Cheated at cards but somehow still lost. Always gave away his cigarettes, didn't even smoke, just kept them to trade. Terrible jokes. Like, aggressively bad. The smile fades. Bravest man I ever met. Never hesitated. Not once. Wayne listens as the soldier talks, really talks, about Eddie. The stories pour out. Firefights and downtime. Stupid pranks and serious moments. The way Eddie always volunteered for point. How he'd write letters to other guys' families because some of them couldn't read well. A full human being. Not a statistic. Not a name on a wall yet to be built. Just Eddie. And Wayne stands there, soaked and shivering, and listens to every word. Because that's all he can offer. His time. His presence. His witness. It's the most honest thing he's done in years. The rain finally begins to ease around 1,500 hours. Just a drizzle now. Gray sky pressing down. The young soldier takes a deep breath. I should get back to base. Wayne nods. What's your name, son? Corporal Michael Torres, sir. Thank you, Corporal Torres. For being here. For Eddie. Torres looks at Wayne, really looks at him, and something passes between them. Understanding, maybe. Respect. The acknowledgement that sometimes the best we can do is show up. Even late. Even imperfectly. Thank you for stopping, Torres says. Most people just drive past. They shake hands. Torres salutes the grave one final time, crisp, perfect, heartbreaking, and walks toward the cemetery exit. Wayne watches him go, then turns back to the headstone. Specialist Eddie Chen. 1950 to 1969. Beloved by his brothers. Wayne stands there alone now, the role reversed. He doesn't know how long. Long enough for the rain to stop completely. Long enough for the sun to crack through clouds in thin golden shafts that light up the wet grass. Long enough to make a promise to a grave. He would never talk publicly about this day. Never use it for publicity. Never mention it in interviews or let it leak to the press. This wasn't material for the John Wayne brand. But it changed something fundamental. Wayne threw himself into veteran causes after that day. Quietly. Without cameras. He visited VA hospitals, not for photo ops, but spending hours with wounded men, listening to their stories. He funded scholarships for children of fallen soldiers. Used his influence to push for better veteran benefits. When people asked why he was suddenly so active, he deflected. Made jokes. Changed subjects. Only his closest friends knew about the cemetery. About Eddie. About Corporal Torres standing vigil in the rain. Years later, in 1979, Wayne was dying of cancer. The same disease he'd beaten once before had returned, aggressive and merciless. He had weeks left. A letter arrived at his home. No return address. Inside, a short note on VA hospital stationery. Mr. Wayne. I don't know if you remember, 1969, LA Cemetery, rain. You stopped for Eddie Chen's funeral. I never forgot that. You didn't have to be there. But you were. I got out of the service in 71. Used GI Bill for college. Became a teacher. Got married. 3 kids now. I'm okay. I made it. Eddie saved my life in the Delta. You saved something else that day. You showed me that witness matters. That showing up, even when it's hard, even when it costs you something, that's what makes the difference. I tell my students about Eddie every year on Memorial Day. I tell them about the funeral. About the soldier who stood in the rain because somebody had to. About the movie star who stopped his car and stayed. I tell them that's what integrity looks like. Thank you for being there. For Eddie. For me. Michael Torres. Wayne read that letter 3 times. Held it with shaking hands. Died 2 weeks later with it on his bedside table. The story stayed buried for years. Torres never sold it to tabloids. Wayne's family kept it private. It wasn't the Duke style, big, loud, cinematic. It was quiet. Personal. Real. But people who knew about it said that day in the cemetery mattered more to Wayne than most of his 170 films. Because it wasn't a performance. It was a choice. The choice to acknowledge that real heroism wasn't what happened on sound stages. It was 19-year-olds dying in jungles. It was soldiers standing vigil in the rain. It was showing up when nobody was watching, when there was no applause, when the only witness was your own conscience. John Wayne built a legend playing American heroes. But in a rain-soaked cemetery in 1969, standing beside a lone soldier at a forgotten grave, he finally understood what that word actually meant. Not the scripts. Not the swagger. Not the mythology. Just presence. Just witness. Just the courage to stop and stay when every instinct says keep driving. Eddie Chen's grave still exists in Los Angeles National Cemetery. There's nothing special about the marker. No indication that John Wayne once stood there. No plaque commemorating Corporal Torres's vigil. Just a name. And dates. And the quiet truth that someone showed up. That 2 people showed up. That in a moment when it would have been easier to look away, to keep moving, to let the rain and the loneliness swallow another invisible sacrifice, someone stopped. Someone stayed. And sometimes, that's the difference between being forgotten and being honored. Sometimes, that's everything. This is the John Wayne story Hollywood never told. No gunfights. No rescues. Just a car stopping in the rain. A choice made in silence. A debt acknowledged too late to change the past, but in time to honor it. Eddie Chin didn't die alone. Not really. Because Michael Torres refused to let him. And John Wayne, finally, quietly, understood what duty actually meant. Some legends are built on screen. The real ones are built in the rain. Stories like this don't live in history books. They live in the moments we choose to remember them. If Eddie Chen's funeral, Corporal Torres's vigil, or Wayne's silent transformation moved you, share this. Drop a comment about a time someone showed up for you when they didn't have to. Or tell us about a forgotten hero who deserves to be remembered. These stories matter because we refuse to let them fade. Hit subscribe, we uncover the truths legends tried to hide. Your witness keeps them alive.